This week, Thomas Markle lamented that Meghan had ghosted him, and announced that only Queen Elizabeth II can mend his broken family. We now know that this disgusting betrayal of Meghan's boundaries may have ruined his chances of reconciliation. See, Meghan had hoped to resolve tension with the Queen by getting back in touch with her father, but he just destroyed his chances. A new, in-depth profile by Vanity Fair tracks the breakdown of the Markle family. The most interesting revelation is that the Queen was so concerned about Thomas Markle's paid photo ops and his interviews that she wanted to step in. She was very concerned that the Markle situation was spiraling out of control, a royal insider reveals. Which, the source admits, it was. That is true. There is nothing about Meghan's relatives on her father's side that seems remotely under control. Buckingham Palace wanted to be able to do something, the insider adds. According to the source, the Queen wanted to take action and be proactive and make the situation go away. It was a direction from the Queen, the insider notes. So her courtiers were under strict instructions to sort it out. The royal family has dealt with scandals before. They take their responsibility as essentially very wealthy mascots very seriously. But, the source reveals, Kensington Palace was not singing from the same hymn sheet. That is a hilarious euphemism for disagreement. And that was because the message was coming from Meghan, the insider explains. Meghan, filled with embarrassment and shame that her family was being a royal terror, didn't want to burden her in-laws. She didn't want to engage, the source says. And, the insider continues, Meghan thought that she could handle it on her own. Apparently, this difference of opinion caused a little bit of tension between the two courts. Fittingly, it sounds like the sort of royal drama you'd get on a BBC production rather than on HBO. Meghan didn't want the tension, however, so she was reportedly prepared to begin speaking with her father on a trial basis. She would have the strict condition that he not open his yap and resume blabbing to any media outlet that would listen. Unfortunately, just days before this report was released but very likely after Meghan had resolved to resume contact, Thomas was back on TV. Thomas Markle appeared on Good Morning Britain to talk incessantly about any topic that came up. Admittedly, it was nice of him to give Piers Morgan the rare opportunity to not be the worst person on the show. But this was a terrible thing to do to his daughter, whose alleged plan to resume contact with him blew up in her face. Thomas rambled on, claiming that Meghan and Harry believe whatever they read in tabloids about what he says. He openly wondered why Meghan hasn't contacted him. As anyone on the planet can tell him, it's because he cannot be trusted to not blabber to the nearest camera. The monarchy is old and fairly unique. But family drama is as common as families. It takes different forms, but it exists. Some very toxic people have called out and insisted that Meghan should speak to Thomas simply because he's her father. In fact, some morons have even claimed that Meghan's silence is killing her dad. She doesn't owe her dad the time of day. And after the way that he has disparaged her in the news and crossed her carefully laid boundaries, he'll be lucky if she ever sends him a postcard.